Hi, everyone. I will be going over the article Attentional Control in Patients with Temporal Lobe Epilepsy. A brief overview is patients with temporal lobe epilepsy, abbreviation is TLE, commonly experience memory impairment, impairment of cognitive domains, IQ impairment, language impairment, and impairment of visual spatial functions. Um, Many studies done have shown that TLE displays intentional control that is associated with the frontal lobe functioning. To get a little more familiar with TLE, it is characterized as repeated unprovoked seizures and is associated with the frontal lobe functioning. In this research study, we seek to find that an aspect of attentional control has the capacity to perform two distinct tasks concurrently in patients with temporal lobe epilepsy. Other studies suggest that two distinctive tasks is detachable from other forms of attentional control. To better clarify, intentional control is a person's choice of what they give attention to as well as what they ignore. The research methodology used in this study evaluates intentional control in TLE participants. One study in a dual task coordination test, and another is a range of other attentional control measures. The dual task coordination test measures the working memory system through the ability to coordinate concurrent tasks. Other intentional control measures consisted of audio and visual control measures with digital span and spatial span. The elevator task and the odd man out test was also used in this research design. Um, the independent and dependent variables which were used were 18 TLE participants using optimum analytical medication, um, but had epileptic abnormalities. The other sample group consisted of 22 healthy adults, and all 22 of those healthy adults had normal vision. The study design included participants using a tracking task and a digit recall task together. The tracking task required participants to place a cross on each box of a winding trail of successive 4 mm times 6 mm boxes linked together by lines and presented on a A4 sheet of paper. The digit recall task required participants to serial recall list of digit strings that were set at their own maximum span and read by the examiner at the approximate rate of 2 per second. This was done by Hudson Flower and Walster 2014. Both tasks perform for 2 minutes before performing the task concurrently for 2 more minutes. To measure the dual task performance, a formula was calculated. Other intentional control measures consisted of a visual and audio measurements and digital span and spatial span, which was used to measure divided attention. The elevator counting task measures sustained attention, and the odd man out test measured the ability to maintain and shift mental set. Uh, Results and explanation of the results. The digital recall and tracking tasks indicated a higher proportion of digits were correctly recalled under single task conditions. Patients with TLE crossed a greater number of boxes than controls. The effect of condition failed to reach significance, and the group and condition interaction was also not significant. The analysis of the proportional loss in performance from single to dual task conditions on the individual task failed to reveal a significant group difference for both the digital recall task and the tracking task. And this was found by Hudson, Flowers, and Walster, 2014. To gain a better understanding, there were no significant differences between TLE patients and healthy adults, which is an explanation that TLE does not impact the ability to allocate cognitive ability. The scores of intentional control measurements results found differences between the participating groups and analyzed with a T test. Patients with TLE displayed impairment on the digital span. The odd man out displayed no differences between the groups, although the control participants produced more correct responses. The results found a severe impairment in selective attention in TLE participants. However, basic attention was intact. The results that this study that this of this study varied. However, it helps further research. The results also give an understanding of intentional control in TLE is somewhat limited. The strengths and weaknesses of this study. Basically, the strength is that it helps to further research in TLE and attention control. Another strength is the that it tests TLE patients as well as healthy patients using different recall task and attention control measurements in order to gain more accurate findings. A weakness of the study is that the findings were not conclusive and left an open door to further research. The study was found in between and had no real concrete findings. Suggestions how to improve this research design. Um, I would add, I think that the best solution to this would be to add more participants. There were only 40 total participants, and there's a lot of people in the world. So to add more participants to gain a more concrete finding, I think would be an excellent improvement to this research design. Another suggestion is to include more testing so that a better result can be found.